¿Una?
Yo voy a pedir un poco, ¿eh? ¿Ya? Well, good morning, everyone. Well, are you ready for another hard work? Hard day, yeah? Well, so today we are going to start with the student presentations. You've been working about our monuments, so yesterday we had the opportunity to see the Roman theater, but now we are going to discover another more important monuments in our region, you know. I know that you've been working hard about them, and we are looking forward to seeing your presentation, all right? After that, we're going to see the interviewer, all right, that we already made. It is just subtitled for you. And this is the first part of our day, all right? So we're going to start. The order is going to be first Italy, after that Greece, after that Poland, next Portugal, and finally Serbia, all right? So thank you very much. Now Italy, all right? It's your turn.
I just wanted to say that some cities are badly pronounced because we did this project 2 years ago and we didn't know how to pronounce them.
Extremadura is an autonomous community of Spain. Its capital city is Merida. Extremadura is an autonomous community of Spain. Its capital city is Merida. Located in the central western part of the Iberian Peninsula, it is made up of two largest provinces of Spain, Cáceres and Badajoz. Extremadura is bordered by Portugal to the west, and by the autonomous community of Castile and Leon north, Castilla-La Mancha east, and Andalusia south. Its official language is Spanish.
The monastery had its origins, constructed in 1389 to commemorate the miraculous appearance of the Virgin the previous year. The Eremite monks took over the monastery and made it their principal house. Templo Mayor had its origins. The monastery was revived by the Franciscan order, and Pope Pio VII declared the shrine a minor papal basilica. UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site.
It is said that a very old carving of the Brunette Virgin, carved by St. Luke himself, reached the place from Seville when some clergymen, fleeing from Muslims, took it with them and buried it on the banks of Guadalupe River. One day, a shepherd, finding a cow dead, decided to remove its skin with a knife, making a cross on the animal's chest. At that very moment, the cow got up, and the shepherd heard a beautiful voice that exhorted him to dig in the place until he found the image of the Virgin. When he found it, he happily returned home, but the joy was short-lived as he found his son dead. The shepherd then entrusted himself to the newly found Virgin, and the child came back to life. In view of these events, it was decided to build an hermitage on the site of the apparition, and this eventually became the monastery and the sanctuary.
The history of the monastery dates back to the 13th century, when a shepherd boy by the name of Gil Cordero found a statue of the Virgin Mary along the Guadalupe River. The word Guadalupe is derived from the Arab word for hidden river. The statue was believed to have been buried there by Visigoths who fled an invading Moorish army in 714. Legend says that the Virgin brought one of his cattle back to life with a promise that she'll create a church on the spot where the statue was found. The monastery is the church that was built. The monastery became a popular spot for kings of Spain. In particular, Queen Isabella often stayed at the monastery and the residents built at the monastery for her.
It was here where Queen Elizabeth first met Christopher Columbus, and it believed that here he may have proposed the idea of trying to reach Asia by sailing west. It is believed that the vegetable garden of monastery might have been the first place in Europe where New World foods such as potatoes, corn and tomatoes might have been grown. The first natives of the Americas to reach Europe were brought here, and they were baptized as Christians here. There is a painting depicting the sign in the back of the church.
The monastery, whose architecture evolved throughout many centuries, is still dominated by the Templo Mayor, or the main church, built by Alfonso XI and his immediate successors in the 14th and 15th centuries. The square chapel of Santa Catalina is also of the 15th century. It is known for a cluster of ornate 17th century tombs. The 16th century reliquaries chapel connects Santa Catalina with the Baroque sacristy, lavishly decorated and boasting a series of paintings
Behind the
by
basilica is
Zurbarán.
Camarín de la Virgen, an octagonal Baroque structure, 1687-1696, with the impressive stuccoed chamber of the Virgin and 9 paintings by Luca Giordano. The jewel of this profusely ornamented hall is a throne containing the statue of the Madonna, which gave the monastery its name. Other notable structures include the Mudéjar cloister, 1389-1405, with the magnificent Plateresque portal. Then we also have the late Gothic cloister from 1531-1533 and the new church, commissioned by one of Columbus's descendants in 1730. Regrettably, the palace of Isabella I of Castile, 1487-1491, was pulled down in 1856.
The sanctuary is divided into stewardship or porteria, basilica temple, finished in 15th century, Mudéjar cloister, finished in 14th century, Gothic cloister and welcomer, finished in 14th century, Temple of the Holy Trinity, finished in 18th century, since 1978 dedicated to auditorium, embroidery museum, liturgical vestments made in its embroidery workshop, and includes pieces that cover the period between 15th and 19th centuries.
Museum of Books and Candles. More than 90 examples are exhibited, gigantic candles and 2 15th century stationaries. Museum of Sculpture and Painting include paintings by Goya and El Greco, along with Anakin carvings by August Human or a crucified ivory crests attributed to Michelangelo. The canvases of Zurbarán are in the old sacristy.
The different chapels make this religious complex the architectural smorgasbord that it is. The Capilla de Sant'Anna with its Flemish murals, the Real Capilla de Santa Catarina with its vaulted ceilings, the beautiful 16th century Capilla de San José with its dome and cupola and Baroque paintings, El Camerín de la Virgen and its intricate Baroque decorations, which include paintings by Luca Giordano and murals by Francisco.
The church consists of 3 naves with a Latin cross floor and a polygonal apse. The Gothic elements are visible in the vaulted ceiling and in the wide windows that bathe the central nave in light. Take a moment to marvel at the main altarpiece, one of the most beautiful pieces of art in the monastery, designed by Juan Gómez de Mora and made by Juan Bautista Montenegro, with sculptures and paintings from various artists
from different periods is worth underscoring, The basilica, main church of Templo Mayor, with a facade notable for its Murillo works, its doors ornamented with finely worked bronze plaques. The interior nave and two sides aisles with thin ornamented vaulting and mainly richly decorated tombs and altars.
The Gothic church, called Templo Mayor in Spanish, was built in the 14th, 15th centuries and has three naves with ornamented vaulting. Entry is free, so you don't need a ticket to get in. This is one impressive part of the monastery. It has three sections, an entrance hall, the main room and a chapel. The walls display rich golden elements, as well as 8 paintings from the famous Extremadura artist Francisco
The Modajar cloister of Guadalupe is one of the best of its style, built between 3089 and 4005. It consists of 2 rectangular floors with about 40 meters of height and a double number of arches in the upper body compared to the lower one. In the cloister stands out the small temple in bricks decorated with tiles and stucco. Its architecture is carved by an arrow with white and green ceramic shelves, which extends into iron cross. It was created by Fray Juan de Sevilla, who probably also came from the cloister itself. In this cloister, the presence of large canvases shows the many miracles in which the Virgin intervened. So, for this reason, the cloister is also called of miracles. Furthermore, they are the work of Fray Juan Santa Maria, who painted them between 1621 and 1623. The main altarpiece of the temple is an extraordinary work designed by Juan Gómez de Mora, executed by Juan Bautista Montenegro, with sculptures by Giraldo de Merlo, Jorge Manuel Teodo Cupoli, and Juan Muñoz. The canvases are by Vicente Cartucho and Eugenio Cajes, with gilding by Gaspar Carrizo and Gonzalo Marin.
The sacrarium was originally a 16th century Philip II's writing desk. In the chapel of San Jeronimo there is one of the most important works of Zurbarán, the Apotheosis of San Geronimo. The Franciscan friars have maintained an interesting cultural work through the study and publication of its archives. It's the second largest pilgrimage center in Spain.
There is just a video.
It became a religious site, attracting pilgrims to worship the Madonna. It was even referred to as the Spanish Vatican. The statue is placed at the top of the altarpiece today. This statue of the Virgin Mary is worshipped as a sacred guardian of Spain and has a distinctly dark complexion. It is believed that this statue was carved by Saint Luke the Evangelist. It is made from cedar wood and coated with black tar.
Desde el punto de vista de iconografía religiosa, en el románico español, los escultores que esculpían la figura de la Santísima Virgen se fijaban capitalmente en la mujer sencilla y humilde del campesinado mediterráneo, tostada por el sol y curtida en las tareas y en las labores propias de la cultura rural. Por lo tanto, era siempre eso, pues mujeres del pueblo, sacada de entre el pueblo.
The worship of the dark-skinned Madonna then spread out from Spain to other parts of the world. Beneath the Virgin Mary is the New Continent and the Atlantic Ocean. During the Age of Discovery, Spaniards spread Roman Catholicism in Latin America. Columbus, who discovered the New Continent, also worshipped the Virgin Mary. He named one of the Caribbean islands Guadeloupe in dedication to the Madonna. Columbus brought some Indians from Latin America back to Spain. He made them convert to Christianity and baptized them here. This monastery played an important part in spreading Christianity throughout the New World. This led to the widespread worship of the dark-complexioned Madonna. Royal Monastery of Santa Maria de Guadalupe.
We only hope we have given you a remarkable presentation of your Spanish cities, which we all have fallen in love with.
Thank you for this excellent presentation. Well, as you have seen, is this one of the most important monasteries in our region, you know? But unfortunately, we can't visit it because it's quite far from our city. So we are going to see all the other monuments that you have been working on, but this is not possible for time, for distance. So, but your student did a very good presentation, so you got a good idea of this monument. All right, now is the time for Greece.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, the next one is Poland.
Classroom of my school. It's pretty modern, but it's actually none of our concern. Instead, I'd like to introduce you to a video on Alcázar, that is one of the greatest monuments of Badajoz. Let us get started.
You might already know Alcázar is a citadel whose history stretches back to the Middle Ages. This magnificent work is the largest Arab monument of its kind in all of Spain. Badajoz was founded by Ibn Marwan al-Uligui in 875 in a strategic place from which one could control the natural passage from the Castilian plateau to the territories of Portugal, and to provide a means of defense, the founder built a fence here. The first enclosure was made of mortar and must have been destroyed in the successive modifications of Alcázar, so that if it is recognizable at all, it is because of recent excavations. In the 12th century, the Almohad king Abu Yaqub Yusuf built a citadel over the old fence, and the fortifications were preserved to this very day in virtually the same shape, being witnesses of subsequent events of Spanish history, from Reconquest to the Napoleonic Wars.
Hi, my name is Julia Medina, and we are now in the main hall of our school, which I hope so you will see soon. But now let's talk about other stuff connected with your country.
Badajoz and its fortress are found in the hill of La Muela, also known as Cabeza del Monturio, on the left bank of the Guadiana River. There, the topography of Terran offers unbeatable conditions for establishing a defensive square, which, throughout history, would constitute an important strategic enclave, bearing in mind that once the boundaries between Spain and Portugal were established. The city acquired the character of a frontier and defensive military city that defenses its personality. The hill of La Muela rises some 60 meters above the Guadiana River, at the point where rivulets stream meters, so that the fortress was naturally protected on the northern and eastern slopes.
Hi, I'm Amelia from Bolesławiec, Poland, and right behind me you can see our Bolesławiec ramparts. However, I'll be talking about Badajoz ramparts. you enter the Alcazaba, which was declared a national monument of Spain in January 1931, you enter an oval enclosure measuring 400 meters from north to south and 200 meters from east to west. It was built using stones. One of the most curious aspects of the building is that the upper part of the wall and the tower are connected by a walkway or parapet, which is accessed by interior stairs. A typical element of this type of construction is the existence of towers called albaranas, whose function is to reinforce the defense of the wall in its weakest parts or to defend a strategic point. Thus, in defense of the Alcazaba of Badajoz, the most important albarana tower in terms of its size and stylistic characteristics is the Ter de la Atlaya, popularly known as the Tor de Espantaperros, the Tower of Scarecrows.
Hello, my name is Julia, and it's so nice to meet you guys. I am so excited to be able to participate in this amazing project, and I'm looking forward to meet you all. And now I will tell you something about the gates of the Alcazaba.
The fortification opens the outside through 3 large gates and several smaller entrances. The gates, which have been an important feature of the fortress since the Almohad domination, do not have a direct entrance, but rather a broken or curved path, which made access difficult, while at the same time they were protected by towers protruding from the wall. The main gate of the fortress is called Puerta de Capitol. It is located between the famous Plaza Alta and Plaza de San Jose, and together with the Puerta de los Pendis is one of the 2 gates from the Almohad period that have been fully preserved, located on the western flank of the Alcazaba.
Hello, my name is Julia. Here is our town square, and a lot of people spend their free time here. And it would be great if we could spend time together in this beautiful place. But now I would like to tell you about your monument.
Beautiful building on the left-hand side, which now houses the Provincial Archaeological Museum of Badajoz, once known as the Palace of the Counts of La Roca. It was built by Lorenzo Suarez between 1387 and 1410. The building clearly shows that it has been a Renaissance manor house with medieval and wooden heart traces. The 4 towers standing in its corners and the large segmental arch that presides over the main facade are outstanding. On the outside, as a decorative element, it had decorative drawings, of which only one remained until today, depicting a dragon swallowing a man, of whom only part of the body and legs can be seen.
Hi everyone, I'm Matthew, and as you can see in the background there is one of the most important churches in Badajoz, but it's not the most important thing here. Today we are going to talk about something different. Today we are going to talk about your city, because it's the most important thing here.
Earliest historical accounts we know of that mention the town of Badajoz, come from 1641. A graphical document says about historical fights between 2 main crowns, Castilian and Lusa. Upon analyzing this document, there is no doubt that the walls which we can see today in your city are really similar to these from a few hundred years ago, proving that Alcazaba remains in the very same shape for centuries, which only gives it more importance as a monument. With all that I said, I can't be more excited to to be able to finally see it.
Hi everyone!
Thank you for watching this. It really means a lot to us. We're so happy that all the Erasmus project already started due to the fact that it's hard time, pandemic and war, you know. But still it has started, and that's the fact we should be so happy about.
Anyway, we hope that you enjoyed this video and hasta luego! Bye!
Bye.
Students from Portugal, and we are going to present you a beautiful and historical monument in Cáceres. Arco de la Estrella, Cáceres.
The Arco de la Estrella has been the main gateway to the city since the 15th century, being the best-known monument in this medieval town. This arch is part of the walled enclosure found in the old city of Cáceres, being its best-known and most used arch since its construction.
It is located in the downtown area of the city Cáceres, next to the Burraco Tower in the Plaza Mayor.
This arch, built in the 15th century, was remodeled in 1726 by order of Bernardino de Carvajal Moctezuma, who already owned a palace near the Burraco Tower.
The old town of Cáceres, which was declared a UNESCO Heritage Site in 1986, is one of the best conserved medieval old towns in the world. Before meandering through the cobblestone streets, flanked by centuries-old buildings, you'll need to cross through the quaint Plaza Mayor, where is located the Arco de la Estrella. There have been settlements near Cáceres since prehistoric times. The city was founded by the Romans in 25 BC, growing a lot of history since then. Cáceres flourished during the Reconquista and the discovery of the Americas, as influential Spanish families and nobles built homes and small palaces there. In the 19th century, Cáceres became the capital of the province, marking a period of growth which was halted by the Spanish Civil War.
The old town, Parte Antigua in Spanish, still has its ancient walls. The walls contain a medieval town setting with no outward signs of modernity, being the gateway the Arco de la Estrella, which is why many television shows and films have been shot there. Although many already know that this city of Extremadura has great historical and cultural value, the Arco de la Estrella is a clear example of this.
This arch, built in the 15th century, was remodeled in 1726 by the order of Bernardino de Carvajal Moctezuma, who already owned a palace near the Bojaco Tower, also located in the Plaza Mayor of Cáceres. It was from that remodeling that the door got its oblique shape so that it would not obstruct the passage of any carriage at that time. Before this happened, the pilgrims coming from Via de la Plata were already crossing the arch to continue their way to the Cathedral of Santiago.
Despite the fact that currently anyone can pass through this arch when visiting the historic city of Cáceres, in its origins the carriages that wanted to access the interior of the Playa Mayor used to pass through it. Formerly, the walled enclosure of Cáceres served to defend the city, in the same way that the Bojaco Tower, next to the arch, served. However, over time, it lost its defensive power, especially since the Arco de la Estrella was built.
Arco de la Estrella is considered the most important gate of the monumental city, since it was the place chosen by the Catholic Queen to swear the forms and privileges in 1477. Also in this same arch, King Fernando el Católico swore to the photos to the city in 1479.
Although the Arco de la Estrella stands out for having passed through its interior all kinds of historical figures of the time, in it we can also find the most interesting architectural elements.
On the outside of the arch, the coat of arms of Cáceres is visible in its upper part. On the inside, it has an image of Nuestra Señora de la Estrella, for which he was baptized with this name.
This image is illuminated by a small star-shaped lantern, and below it, there is a stone coat of arms of the Carvajal family.
Thank you all for watching.
Okay, Serbia is going to make their presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, I will present to you the Roman theater, which we visited yesterday. It was so good, by the way. Those are our project partners. Please. Yeah. This is a picture of Roman theater in Merida. We visited yesterday, as I said. This is the position in Spain. This is the position in Extremadura. This is our position in Badajoz, in Merida, in position in Merida. Roman Theatre is one of the most famous visitor landmarks in Spain. The Roman Theatre of Merida is regarded as a Spanish cultural icon and was chosen as one of 12 treasures of Spain. 2,000 years of history. The construction of Roman Theatre of Merida began in the year 16 before Christ with the patronage of Consul Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa. It is one of the curiosities of the Roman Theatre of Merida. Majestic stands divided into 3 heights and capacity of 5,1800 people and diameter of 95 meters. It is another of the curiosities of the Roman Theatre of Merida. Designed by Vitruvius, he has a Latin floor plan with a floor equilateral triangles inscribed in a circle. The vertices of triangles determine the placement of the accessories and the access of doors. Reconstructing. Another of the curiosities of the Roman Theatre of Merida is that already underwent modifications in the era of Trajan and the emperor born in Italy, in the Roman colony that gave rise to Sevilla. Trajan and the great stage front of the theatre built at the beginning of the 2nd century. It is a huge multi-storied building of 17 height and 63 meters long. Reconstructing. Another reconstructing is time of Constantine I between 313 and 340, who was born in Serbia, Niš, which is introduced new decorative architectural elements and walkway around the monument. Following the theatre abandonment in the late antiquity, it was slowly covered with earth, with only upper the tiers and seats. Remaining visible in local folklore, the site was referred as the 7 chairs, where, according to the tradition, the several Moorish kings sit and decide the fate of the city. Abandonment. With the decline of the colony of Emerita August, the Roman Theatre of Merida was abandoned around the 4th century. In addition, he was buried under tons of earth. Only highest part of its stands remained in the view. It is another of the curiosities of the Roman Theatre of Merida. The excavations of theatre began in 1910, directed by archaeologist José Ramón Melida. Having limited resources and methodology was conducive to the reconstruction progress, which delayed excavation until the late 20th century, when the most of the building was excavated, documenting numerous columns, chronicles, states, and other building materials, especially the front stage. The theatre is located in the archaeological ensemble of Merida, one of the largest and most extensive archaeological sites in Spain. It was declared as the World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1993. The theatre was located on the edge of the Roman city, adjacent in the city walls. Some of the seating was built into a hill called the Cerro de San Albin. The origin of Classical Theatre Festival. The first theatrical performance of the modern times dates back to 1933 with the staging of Seneca Medea in the version of Miguel de Unamuno. Since then, Merida International Classical Theatre Festival has been held there, in another of the curiosities of the Roman Theatre for Merida. The Merida Classical Theatre Festival is one of the oldest of his kind, celebrated in Spain. Sí. This is all the part of the plan. Thank you for your patience.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you very much to you all, you know. So I hope you found this presentation interesting. And well, you are lucky because you are in Spain, and this evening and tomorrow you are going to visit all the places that we have seen here in the presentation, all right? So thank you very much. Well, now we're going to see the interview that two of our students had made to the